Hi there. How to interview for a job in English. My name's Andrew-Moore, and I'm coming to you today from Medellin, Colombia. Beautiful city, and in a week or so, I'll be in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Anyway, I'm an educator with almost 12 years of experience full-time. I spent 10 of those years in Europe working with professionals, both in Prague and Valencia, Spain, specializing in business English. I've taught the highest level of Cambridge as well. And for the past year and a half, I've been helping professionals around the world face job interviews that made them very, very uncomfortable, especially if English is not your first language. But I can assure you that there's many ways to adjust your level of English to be able to present as well as possible. Okay? It's not always about your English. A lot of times it's more about your communication skills and knowing how to present yourself. Once again, my name's Andrew. Very nice to meet you today. And so let's get started. How to interview for jobs or even university panels in English. If you are not very confident in your English skills, I recommend that you keep sentences short and that you pace yourself so you can enunciate English well. If you're of Asiatic descent, it might be difficult for you to hit the inflections and intonations that we often use in English. And so you may need to slow down your pacing or just own it, okay? This is really important, especially if somebody is speaking to you very rapidly. Don't try to mirror them. You want them to mirror you. So hold your pacing, and subconsciously, usually, they will slow down, and now you have a good rhythm and a good communication. Okay? So if you don't understand a question, you can ask them politely to repeat it, but you don't want to do that too much. So I'm going to give you an alternative. And one of those is to let them know. You can say, well, excuse me a moment. I understood that you want to know this, this, and this. And so you're taking ownership of your English and you're repeating back to them what you think they said. And they'll correct you, but they'll appreciate the fact that you are owning that half of the conversation, rather than just asking them to repeat. Nobody wants to do that, especially in a professional atmosphere, okay? So by taking ownership of your half of the conversation, you can present yourself better, and they'll respect that. Also, speed is not your friend for most speakers, ESL speakers. If you can speak rapidly, fantastic. But what if your interviewer then doesn't have the English skills? So you want to try and meet in the middle. But you can't rush yourself if you're using different muscles for your native language that you do for English. So you've got to slow down and control your speech so your, as I said, inflections and intonations are there, okay? And your word stresses. Also, I have another video on the introducing yourself, right? So structure your answers, but do not memorize them. I've had many Asian students, especially Chinese, they like to memorize answers to common interview questions. Don't do that. Most people will see right through that, and even though that works fine for you in China, and if you're interviewing in China, fantastic, do that, but not for a Western company, okay? People don't appreciate that. Like I said, it works in China, but the rest of the world doesn't really work with that. At the same time, you can practice your answers, just don't memorize them or you'll sound rather robotic, and we don't want to go for that. And remember that people want to work with people that they like, so give them a reason to like you. Smile. Control your breathing if you have a problem with anxiety. Control your breathing. Think before you speak. I like to tell students to breathe, think, and then speak. So, for example, somebody asks you a question, you want to give them the best possible answer, think about it, and then say it. This relaxes your muscles, this puts oxygen in your brain, and it simultaneously gives you time to construct an answer. Okay? Also, for English, remember to keep your sentences short to the point. Let's take a note from Ernest Hemingway, shortest sentences possible. Not really that, but what I'm trying to express is one of the common mistakes is the longer your answer gets, right, the more chances for mistakes. So if you get caught in the second clause and you're starting to repeat yourself and sometimes even forget what you're saying, that's kind of a disaster. So most people are more impressed by a stronger set of vocabulary or personal lexicon than they do from these long, overly complicated sentences that switch tenses and sometimes lose the point and meaning of what you're trying to say. So hopefully some of this was of benefit to you. In so many cases, this is a one-on-one kind of experience. I can give you a bulk of information and common things that maybe you can apply to your experience, but truly everybody is different. Their English skills are different. It's one of the things that is really, really interesting to me about working internationally and with international professionals is finding those things about them that are great, that we want to amplify, okay? So be likable. Even if you're nervous, take a deep breath. Control your breathing. It's how you can control your anxiety and give the best answers possible. Okay? Respect their time. Remember, especially at the introduction, that they already have your CV. Okay? They already have your resume. That's why you're in that seat. That's why they're interviewing you. So you don't need to go into a long monologue or diatribe, especially at the introduction. You'll lose them. They'll fall asleep, right? Remember that conversations, even an interview is a form of conversation, so is a presentation, right? It's an expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction, right? So you need them to lead the conversation. Let them do that. And remember at the end to thank them for the opportunity. You might want to thank them at the beginning as well, right? Because that's good manners. And be prepared to answer questions about salary, about your work experience, about your education, and also about the company, right? So you've done all your research. That's why you're sitting at that interview. But at the same time, you might want to think of some constructive questions that they can appreciate. Okay? And shows your interest in your real interest in the position. So hopefully these were some tips that you can use. If you need any other help, my name is the channel name. My website is the channel name. So you can find me there. I'm relatively inexpensive for what I do. And the reason is because it's not a part of my business that I want to scale. I like to work with people. I like to see their success. And I absolutely hope the best for yours. Okay? Thank you so much. Bye. Have a great day. Good luck.